business inside the gate. Big conversation. You're doing this virtually. Big is a platform for entrepreneurs, for investors, for people of the culture who are looking to explore, different avenues, for entrepreneurs to talk about, their business, for athletes to talk about their transition in business, right? All to build a community of information, of next generation entrepreneurs and investors, to be able to make sure that we all kind of grow together and go together. My guest today is a good buddy of mine who I've been fortunate to know over the last 2 or 3 years. We've invested in a few companies together. We actually, I tell a funny story. Somebody was like, yo, you got to meet this dude. He's an investor. He's like he's a tech genius. He's built all these platforms. You have to meet this dude. So I'm going and, you set up this fancy meeting when you're meeting, engineers or tech people. And I walk in and this dude has like damn near like this Miami Versace velour sweatsuit, some Yeezys on, gold chains. I was like, dude, whatever you're doing, I'm in. And I like walked past his table 3 times because I thought he was like a Miami jewelry maker, jewelry dealer. But come to know my good buddy John Bradford, co-founder of Collab, has built various platforms that you all will be familiar with, and now is taking his talents, his business, his creative incubator or tech incubator, and really allowing entrepreneurs to build and grow and see things without having to take, I would say, so much of the risk. Ladies and gentlemen, a good buddy of mine out of Indiana University, the Midwest, my good buddy John Bradford.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm happy to be here. It's good to see you even virtually here today. So
What's up, dude? I see you got the fila on.
I do, yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Super fire.
Gotta keep it cool. It's finally heating up out here.
Yeah, for real. How you doing, man? How's everything?
Everything's been good. Been staying super busy. It's obviously been an interesting time, for everyone. And I would say, something that I think is a little bit thematic in general has been, seems like a lot of things that were going to happen have kind of happened sooner, than they otherwise would have taken place. And as that's, really applied to the incubator and in my portfolio companies, and I'd say, unfortunately, the majority of the companies had some sort of negative impact, as a result of the virus and Corona. Fortunately, the minority of the businesses that had the positive impact, that positivity far outweighs any combined negativity that we otherwise would be suffering. So, believe it or not, I'm working on fewer things, and seemingly there's more revenue coming in, and it's all just kind of accelerating the growth of the things that should, and probably slowing down the things that are less important, and feeling good about being diversified.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's go. Now, give us some info on your past and what Collab is, and just kind of what's been your journey.
Yeah. So as you said, I came out to LA from Indiana University, and shout out to Hoosiers for sure. While I was at IU, I was an entrepreneur. Started a lot of different things. The first thing that I actually had some real success was delivering birthday cakes to students on behalf of their parents while away at school, and use that project to teach myself how to code, and that's actually how I met my business partner, Squid. And sure enough, shout out to Squid. Sure enough, we expanded that from just serving the students of Indiana University to 25 campuses before I graduated across the country. And about 2 months after that, I said, Squid, I'm dropping out, moving to LA. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but you should drop out and come with me. And we did that, and we're very fortunate enough to be taken in as entrepreneurs in residence with a fund based out here, which, while working with them over the course of 6 months, built a platform in the domaining space called Gumbo. And we're successful selling our first company 7 months after getting here. So, yeah, really incredible, fire hose of experience kind of coming at us during that amount of time. And I've oftentimes referred to that period of time as our MBA, if you will. But then after that, then took a couple months off, recovering, enjoying our win a little bit, and really just kind of arguing about what it is that we should start next. And after enough time had gone by, I said to Squid, you know what, man, this is a real problem. It's going to be a real problem for us as entrepreneurs. Just inevitably, there's going to be ups, downs, and in-betweens. And let's never have to suffer from this, paralysis, basically, of having to figure out what we're going to do next. So incubator model was kind of the most obvious to us in terms of how we could responsibly work on more than one venture at a time. But I was 23, he was 21. Didn't think people take us very seriously just as being traditional angel investors, if you will. So what we decided to do instead, since we definitely had enough money to support ourselves, was to just start working on projects in exchange for equity. And first project that we did ended up raising a very significant Series A very quickly. Then word got out that we were offering this sort of equity, exchange for product development. And then we were fortunate enough to meet our third founder, Artur, who has helped us bring really the technical expertise and scaled out the team over in Ukraine that handles all the engineering and developing that goes into our projects. And evolved our business model to where we still charge enough to cover the costs of the individuals that whatever startup needs to take advantage of. So I'm never charging for my time, never charging for partner time, only charging for the time and cost that the actual startup truly needs. Right. I feel very confident that that is the least risky way, to your point, as you said earlier, and I appreciate that acknowledgement, to start a startup in terms of having to spend the littlest amount of money, work with a very proven team of technologists beyond entrepreneurs, and enabling the entrepreneurs that we work with to just stay hyper focused on developing the businesses that they're aiming to succeed with themselves. So we've done a little over 70 ventures, have sold 7 businesses now. First one was to GoDaddy, second major exit was to Google, third one now to Viacom. And are just continuing to plug away. And as we've started to stack some of our own chips, have started to invest in things for ourselves too. And as you're well aware, I've also now started to devote a large portion of my own personal time and the incubator resources towards CBD as well, which is the Amazon of CBD, and excited about what's going on there too.
So, tell me about CBD.
Yeah, so sorry to rant there for a bit, but exactly as I said, CBD aims to be the Amazon of CBD products. We launched in July of 2019. Very quickly established ourselves as the largest marketplace for CBD products online, and now we're doing some various things to continue to make us the most trusted marketplace for CBD products online, and primarily doing that with working with specific industry experts or celebrities to figure out the right formulations for premium products that will be eventually for sale as exclusively available on CBD. And believe that will bring the customers, there to obviously buy those products, but also break down that barrier of trust and hesitation that a lot of these people have about buying CBD for the first time in general. So we'll inevitably create more transactions for everybody on the marketplace as a whole.
I like that. And what are some of the, I would say, and from your background, right, and now kind of stepping, right, for CBD. Kind of what got you into this space? How does one go from, the technology side to figuring out another industry? You know what I mean? Like, what are those aspects? Was it research? Was it passion? Was it a void?
Absolutely. So before and during the entire time that Squid and I have been doing collab, we certainly have been very passionate about cannabis, both as consumers and evangelists. And personally, I've actually overhead 12 orthopedic operations and suffer from a lot of pain and have used it as a good alternative to opioids. And
for sure,
could go on a tangent about that too. But really believe that it's therapeutic and has a lot of benefit to the people that feel that they need to consume it. And that being said, we're still pretty hesitant, just given all the other opportunities that we've had going on, to jump into a category where there was some illegalities around it, right, and federal regulation. So kind of avoided marijuana and cannabis as a category for a long time. And then as the Farm Bill was passed in 2018, it made it so that CBD could now be legally shipped to all 50 states. And it's actually a federally recognized legal substance at this point. And we felt that was a good place for us to start our own sort of technology venture, inside the cannabis space too, just having felt a little bit more comfortable that nobody's going to come knocking down our doors for us selling CBD and potentially jeopardize all of the other, positive and successful, well-established businesses that, we're otherwise involved with. So wanted to wait until it was the right time to act on our passion, without risking too much. And, going back into that whole opioid, issue, as I've really gotten to know a lot more about CBD and just the different cannabinoids, in general, it's been really fascinating. We've been super fortunate to have Dr. Alan Manison on the team, who's the lead sports chiropractor guy for the Baltimore Ravens, and has taught me so much. He's also formulated over 1,500 different CBD products that are actually on the market at this point. So when I talked to him, recently, I said, hey, Alan, I consume cannabis pretty much all day, every day, and I'm just curious, am I getting enough CBD to address, the pain and ailments that I'm suffering? And he said to me, you know what, John, it's funny, if you were to ask me the question 20 years ago, I would say absolutely yes. Now, smoking actually is a pretty effective way of absorption. You get, 50 to 60% of what you're trying to get in through that method. And obviously, as a medical professional, you never endorse inhaling burning organic material. But nonetheless, I'm getting the medicine that I look to get in there. But at the same time, because the recreational market keeps pushing the cultivators to increase the percentage of THC, because ultimately, us as consumers, we think that the best cannabis on the shelves for sale is the one with the highest percentage of THC. Well, as we've done that, that's all come at the sacrifice of the levels of cannabinoids that used to be in the plant as well. So your top shelf cannabis, 20 years ago would have about 15 to 20% THC, and then it'd have 20 to 30%, CBD and different cannabinoid profile. Now you go in, ask for top shelf indica, you're achieving this 30% THC, which is crazy, right? But the CBD profile is less than 1%. And I think that's so interesting, and really, as I've talked to my own friends that are growers and cultivators too, I say, as I am procuring for myself, I want the best indica, right? That's typically what I ask for. And they're always telling me, it doesn't really matter at this point. And it's all the same. You just want the best stuff. And I didn't get that until Alan explained this to me. But I totally believe that whole top shelf shopping experience, and hopefully it's only 5 years from now or less, but say 10 years, is no longer going to be about, I want the highest percentage of THC. It's going to be about knowing which different cannabinoids actually are ideal in combination for you as a consumer, and there will be all different types of specialties. And what I'm again pleased, and everything happens for a reason, that we ended up starting with CBD as kind of the first cannabinoid. CBD actually, as it's been isolated, has been proven to be very effective through research and science for pain itself, right? The next big two cannabinoids that they're focusing on are CBG and CBN, and one of those focuses on appetite while the other sleep. So you can imagine, as we start to understand how each of these isolated cannabinoids can truly be effective, the implications on how many different pharmaceuticals that they could replace, that people are reliant and addicted, and yes, solving some ailments and undesired effects, but at the sacrifice of having others, right? I just think it's really exciting, everything that cannabis has the potential to do and grow into. No problem.
That's dope, man. And then where do we find CBD? Tell us about where do we find it?
Of course, yeah. Go to cbd.com, which is cbdee.com. I should have a conference, or a coupon code for you guys today. I'll make sure that there's one active right after the live stream today. You can do a big 427. We'll make that a 10% discount. But we have everything on there that is available for CBD. If they make it, we have it. I'm even proud and somewhat confused to say that we even have CBD oil for snakes on there. There's actual snake oil
That's
on this site. So
hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it actually is the cure-all for everything. And that being said, I don't think it is. There's there's misinformation and poor marketing going on there too. But nonetheless, we aim to just kind of have we take all of our brands through a pretty vigorous vetting process to make sure that they meet the quality standards that we require, as well as all the compliance requirements that are continually evolving and in place. And otherwise, we're just trying to collect reviews from people as they purchase, and continue to identify what's working, what's good, and what isn't on there that people want as well.
That's dope, man. And then we always like to impart words to our entrepreneurs, investors, people out there. What would you say what was or is your business side of the game? The thing that is giving you the confidence to be able to be a chameleon, right, in the tech space as well as the entrepreneurial space.
Yeah, you just gotta be fearless, right? I can't tell you how many times I've failed. It far exceeds the amount of times that I've succeeded. But fortunately, the weight, the value of that success has far outweighed all those other, countless failures. So there's so much hesitation that I see with entrepreneurs, and this idea that things must be perfect before, they present something to the world. And that is just the wrong way to go about it, in my opinion. You want to get things out there as quickly as possible. I believe, and Baron, I know I've done this and shown this to you, that you can start a business for less than a couple $1,000s in just a few days, right? And actually generate revenue and prove that customers, really want this, right? And now that proof's there, leverage that to get the money that you may or may not need to build that out into the ideal user experience to really maximize your potential to take advantage of the opportunity.
Love it, dude. Amazing. And I have some new ideas for some new companies we could start.
Whenever. I'm ready whenever, as you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Bradford, the multi-hyphenate entrepreneur and tech engineer. Thank you for coming on the show, man. This is what it's all about, being able to share information, to gain information. It was a joy to just sit back and hear not just about the business of CBD, but the effects of CBD and what CBD is. for a lot of the people out there. So hopefully, we can get more people using it for pain relief and, various things. Go to cbdee.com because the information is there. And so, one of the first platforms that not only can you buy stuff, but you will be well informed in what you're buying, and you know that you're buying premium quality stuff. John, thank you. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. See you guys next Monday on Business Inside the Game. And I'm out.